Halloween has come and gone, but for those of us most terrified by the human race's endless capacity for stupidity, the season of horror never comes to an end. Welcome to day 5 of Stupidween. Today's tale of terror is entitled Vote Trump.
The Hopewell Church in Greenville, Mississippi, which is a black church, was recently gutted by an arsonist fire and graffitied with the phrase, "Vote Trump." Predictably, when this became a news story, every Democrat and Democrat-leaning person immediately declared it yet more proof that Trump and his supporters are racist and that their racism is escalating. And every Trump supporter immediately declared that this was a false flag operation designed to make Trump supporters look bad. Scott Adams, who is a Trump supporter and the creator of the comic strip Dilbert, tweeted this out earlier. "That's probably a false flag event brought to you by Team Clinton." I reached out to Scott Adams' creation Dilbert for comment.
Nigga said what?
Oh, sorry. I thought that clip was going to be longer. Anyway, how does Scott Adams know this was probably a false flag? I mean, it might be, it might not be. I really don't see any way to attach a probability to it. There are two probable explanations here. Either a crazed white supremacist Trump supporter decided to burn down a black church and couldn't help himself but leave a Trump-related calling card, or a Trump-hating person who may or may not have been an operative of the Democratic Party staged this hate crime to make Trump and his supporters look bad. I think it's fair to say that whoever is responsible and whatever their motivation is, they're absolute idiots. If it was a Trump supporter, I mean, I just have to say to you, do you know that you're hurting your cause? You know you're hurting your own candidate's chances by doing this, right? Burning down black churches might amuse you and your hunting buddies, but it's not going to play well with most of the electorate. I mean, what's your next act on behalf of Trump going to be? Why don't you just record yourself crushing the world's cutest baby in a hydraulic press and then writing "Trump rocks" on the walls with its blood while wearing a Hitler shirt, and then upload the video to YouTube with Nickelback as the background music? Because, you know, it's not every day you get to see a baby's eyes pop out of its skull while Chad Kroger makes you wish it was you. Go ahead and do that. It's like, hey, I want to be a rock star. Ah! What the fuck is wrong with me? Go ahead and do that. That's going to help Trump's campaign. That's going to be brilliant stuff. Brilliant fucking shit. But if this is a false flag, the person who did it is just as stupid. Because first of all, you just set the building on fire. What makes you think they're going to get the fire out in time for your graffiti to even be seen? I mean, if they hadn't put the fire out in time, we wouldn't have all these nifty pictures of "Vote Trump" written on the side of the building. But maybe you did your homework and you knew they were going to put the blaze out. That's fine. That's not the stupidest thing you did. The stupidest thing you did was conceive of a false flag that you know everyone who supports Trump is easily going to dismiss as a false flag. Like, when I was a kid, I got this fucked up idea in my like shitty little head that I was going to frame my brother for some shit just to fuck with him. I had this knife and I wanted to carve something into the side of the house, but I wanted to make sure that Scotty got blamed for it, not me. And that was the kind of dilemma I had. Like, how do I do this in such a way that Scotty's implicated? And my first inclination was, I'll just write Scotty, you know? I'll just write Scotty on the wall. But I immediately dismissed that. I immediately said, no, that's not good enough, because they're just going to see that and say, this is just TJ trying to frame Scotty. So instead, I thought, you know what? Scotty's favorite band is 311. And I'm well known for hating 311 and thinking they suck. So I'm going to just carve 311 into the wall, because they'll figure only Scotty would care enough about 311 to carve it into the fucking house. And lo and behold, the day came, and who was blamed? Not me. Scotty was blamed immediately. I was barely a suspect. They asked me one time, TJ, you do this? I'm like, no. Scotty, you're the one who likes 311 now. And he got blamed for it. So what I'm trying to say to you is, if this was a false flag operation, the person who did it is dumber than I was when I was 10. Like, you don't write fucking vote Trump. You write something more obscure like, who's deplorable now? And let people draw deplorable, like when Hillary Clinton called Trump supporters a basket of deplorables. Oh my God. Or if that's too nebulous or too vague or it's not connected enough or whatever, then maybe something like Make America Great Again. People already fucking have a strong reaction to that, like especially black people. Because, white people, when we think Make America Great Again, we think like Leave It to Beaver. When black people think about Make America Great Again, all of a sudden they see like the dogs and the fire hose and shit. When we're hearkening back to our memories of the 1950s, it's kind of a different time for white people and black people in terms of social standing and stuff like that. So black people are already scared of the phrase Make America Great Again because in their opinion, it's never been great. So they're already scared of that. Why not write that? It's far more likely to be believed as a genuine Trump supporter if it says Make America Great Again than if it says something like Vote Trump. Now, if I had to guess who did this, and this is just a guess, I would guess that it was just a racist Trump supporter who's too dumb to realize that he's hurting. I think it's someone who honestly believes in his mind that he's getting out the vote by doing this. He thinks he's signaling to white people it's time to take back our country because he assumes that everyone shares his grievances with minorities. To me, that seems like the most likely scenario, but without more information, there's absolutely no way to definitively say what motivated this crime, and if the truth ever is revealed, I would not be shocked either way. But I think anyone who's honest will say there's just no way to know who did it or what their motivation was. It's possible that the motivation is not either of the scenarios I just described, that it's actually something more strange and obscure. For instance, could the graffiti person and the arsonist be two different people? Unlikely, yes. Impossible? Maybe this is the work of a sick fuck who just wanted to burn something down and figured he'd write Trump, vote Trump to throw people off his trail. Or maybe someone had an actual political reason to burn down this church, like someone had a vendetta against it for some personal grievance. Or maybe the pastor burned down his own church to get sympathy or money. I'm not saying any of those things are likely at all, but all of them are possible. Conclusions should be based on evidence, not conjecture. I think conjecture is fine to draw a hypothesis or two, but so many people on both sides of so many issues treat their conjecture as if it were fact. And all they all need to realize that only my conjecture is fact, okay? If you just accepted that only I'm right about everything, the world would go so much smoother. Now, there's 2 more days of Stupidween left, so stay tuned and stay terrified. Oh, I guess it's kind of a tradition for me to yell Stupidween really loudly at the end of these. I know someone out there would be pissed at me if I didn't do that, so here we go.